an ambush in the Cumberland Gap. So we've got the 1st CS Regiment on the left flank and the 4th Tennessee's moving in on the right. Welcome to Worms and Warriors. We're back here with Grand Tactician, the Civil War. We're going to try this game with the AOM mod. Just before we get started here, and note that this video is chaptered, so if there's any bits you don't want to watch, you can simply skip past and just go to wherever it is you want to go to. It's episode 1, of course, so things are going to be a little bit slower than usual, as is usual on this channel when we have a new series starting. If you are new here, why not check out the channel if you like what you see. Hit that subscribe button, follow the series along. I've had a bunch of unit requests to put into this campaign, which I will do. Now, things are a little bit different with the AOM mod in terms of the units and stuff like that. We'll have a look at those in a moment. The AOM mod, if you don't know what that is, I'll put a link in the description so you can click on there and check it out. It's basically... it adds a bit more historical flavour to the game, more historical units, more commanders, things like that. It's really pretty good, actually, or it looks pretty good. I haven't tried it yet. We're going to try it here, like pretty much live on the game. So avatars, we're going to have a quick look in here. So there's a whole, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of commanders being added, obviously by the mod creators, which is awesome. So there's lots and lots of new commanders here. Let's have a look. So I've had a few requests for dudes to be added in. So we've got Strange Man here, there he is, Richard T. Whitewood, Philip Phillips was from the last game, Grumpy Grumper, he's going to be in there as well, and we've also got Fat Man Arkle, who's going to be commanding one of our units. So there we are, there's those guys. I've had a bunch of unit requests, like I say. I've printed them out on a sheet and I will add them all in. It's possible that it might not all be new units, all viewer units will be added straight away. It'll be when we get our next recruits, but that'll become more apparent as we set the game up. So anyway, Grand Tactician, the Civil War, AOM mod, let's see what it's all about. Just a quick look through the options here before we do, so just the basic setup. Everything's pretty straightforward here. I have had a tick this downsizing of units in large battles, despite, I mean, my PC's got a 3070 graphics card and it's pretty, I mean, it's fairly high spec, but it still struggles with the larger battles in this game for some reason, so I've ticked that. Music volume obviously low because I'm recording. Other than that, there's nothing really exciting in here, to be honest. It's just the basic stuff, the basic kind of setup. If you were following the previous series along, you'll know that I had a bit of a malfunction, and it's sad he had to stop at episode 12, I think it was, and I just lost the saves, which was a real shame. But anyway, so let's have a look here. Let's get going here. Start campaign. So straight away we can see it's different on the left. We've got a sandbox campaign. This scenario is meant for ahistorical and sandbox playthroughs. We've decided to stop focusing and working on this scenario. Do not expect balanced, immersive, or historically accurate. So this is not the way this mod is intended to be played, so we're not going to play it like that. Then we've got 3 different AOM start dates. Okay, so we've got the 19th of July, the 21st of July, and the 9th of August. I think I'm going to go with the 19th of July. I've had to read through them, through the little description here, which is slightly different to the previous descriptions. We're going to play as the Confederacy, of course, and we're going to play this game on very hard and mediocre. I'm not going to set this right up because it just keeps going and going and going. So we can see straight away it's different. Experience 13 to 12, 96 to 92 in morale, 120,000 for the Union, 110,000 for the Confederacy fielded, number of ships 69 to 128. So it's like things are a bit different here. We're going to go with historic policies for the Union. And as you can see, you can't choose your own policies. You're going with these kind of historical ones. So we've got the Old Dominion, King Cotton, and Native Allies. So July the 19th, 1861, from Blackburn's Ford to Appomattox. This is an alternative to the July 21st scenario. This scenario gives you more freedom with how to approach First Manassas and makes it easier to avoid the Johnston not joining bug. So must be an issue with the other one. Notice, please read the README before playing the scenario to avoid certain issues that you may encounter. So there's a whole README file to go with this. So the house rules, I'm not going to obey them all because like I need to add some units in. It's just for the viewers, really. So anyway, but we're going to have a quick look at these guys. The AOM house rules are still a work in progress. So this whole thing's still a work in progress, I think. But it does look pretty good. So, core house rules, the golden rules. Making mistakes and letting yourself fail is part of the fun. Try your hardest not to save scum, and don't be afraid of not always getting the perfect outcome. Yeah, this is one of the things that it annoys me at the time, but I do actually like it when things go wrong. Avoid using exploits at all costs. Again, when I play, I try to keep it historical. What else we got going on here? Avoid cheesing the AI. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but maybe like taking the mick out of it, so like blocking certain points and things like that. Don't chase routed units. I was a bit surprised to read that. So chasing down routed units, I don't think is like cheating or anything, because realistically I would chase a routed unit if I was a commander, but well, who knows. Don't treat cavalry like it's Napoleonic era. Yeah, exactly. So like no mass charges and things like that, but I don't do that anyway. Campaign house rules. Don't get the army reorganization project until at least February the 1st, 1862, unless the AI gets it before then. Don't get the artillery reorganization until February the 1st. So, like, it's trying to keep it historical. Don't get the machine guns project until January the 1st, 1864. Don't move on your opponent's capital until at least the January the 1st, 1862. Yeah, okay, that all sounds fairly, like, that's fine. I mean, I've got no issues with any of that. I'm happy to stay with that. You may not use the ship transfer system. Example, transferring ships from the Atlantic to St. Louis without holding the Mississippi. Something that would be near impossible, yeah. Whitworth rifles may only be used with units that are under 1.5k in total size. Again, that seems reasonable. Sharps rifles under 1,800, and plains rifles not be used units that be allowed to be used with units that are under 2.2k in total size. Fine. You may not use the 50,000 plus order for anything that isn't Springfield rifle muskets. All right. Well, I mean, it's unlikely we'll have the money to order 50,000 plus of anything anyway as a Confederacy, but it's one of those things. And then we've got some more bits and pieces here. Your naval tonnage may not exceed 55,000. You may also not have more than 101 ships. If your ships in dock, fleet standing in port, or blocked by a Union fleet exceed 100 firepower, you may not transfer it to another fleet through the harbour. All right. E.g. sending a ship from Norfolk to New Orleans. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So it's trying to keep the game realistic, and I quite like that. If your total force totals over 100,000 men, you're forced to put at least half of your total force on an AI stance. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Don't camp fords, rivers, choke points. That's like cheesing the AI. I think that's what they were saying. So the AI can't cross there. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff here. I mean, I have read through it before. Never charge routed units with infantry in hopes of them surrendering or murdering them. Why not? I'm not sure. I'll probably play the game like I always played, which I do try to keep it realistic. So a bunch of these armies are frozen in place, like they've got recruits moving into them and things like that, so you shouldn't move them, and that's fine. Now there's a few rules here about not changing commanders and things like that. If you can, I will probably end up having to change some of the commanders simply to accommodate my viewers' requests. But I guess if I was playing myself just offline, I would obviously not do that. Anyway, so that's that. If you're interested in the AOM mod or checking it out further, like I say, I'll put a link in the description. I'll also link in Grumpy Grandpa's instruction video on how to install the game, the mod. It's not difficult, but you know it's nice to have someone else do it as well. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll load it through. We'll get into this. We'll get going. We'll have a little blast and see how this AOM mod treats us and if it's any good. I hope so. But anyway, so we're going to start AOM July 19th. We're going to start very hard and mediocre. I don't want to auto-manage. We're playing as good old Jeff Davis here as the Confederacy. And we'll get going. We've got feuds turned off and auto-manage turned off. So that's it. I'll quickly flick through this. So if you want to read it, then you can. You just have to pause the screen, I guess. Yeah, so if you wanted to read that, then obviously just pause away wherever it is you want to see from. And let's get started with this game. So what we'll do here, we're going to have a quick look at the overview. We'll have a see what's going on. We'll have a quick look through the units that are available and how it's different to the vanilla game. And then what I'll do, I'll add some units in off screen and I'll just cut back in when that's done. So obviously, yeah, I don't think people want to see me trawling through adding units and things like that. All right, so here we are. July 19th, 1861, and straight away we can see it's a bit different than the vanilla game. There's a lot more armies on here. You start with like, I can't remember, 4 or 5 maybe in the other game. But so we're going to have a quick look through this and see how it's different. So the initial action is clearly going to be in the east. We're going to be coming up to Manassas to start with. And it looks fairly similar to vanilla at this point. We've got Beauregard here with his Army of the Potomac. That is obviously the Confederate Army of the Potomac. But there we see different setup. So we've got Pendleton with his artillery, a whole bunch of artillery. Lots of them are still on their way in, so 30 days away and so forth. Walton here with another artillery battalion, it says. But, yeah, I guess it is a battalion, and then these are the companies. So these are battalions here. The VA Artillery Reserve, Washington Artillery Battalion, and then these are the little companies, the batteries, I guess you call them. We can see the weapons are different, named different, all adding to that historical flavour. We've got the Laurel Brigade here under Lee. We've got the 2nd VA Cavalry Regiment and a bunch of other cavalry regiments on their way here. 30 days, 165 days, 200 days. So, I mean, as you can see, there's already lots of recruitment queued up. So that's why I'm saying I might not be able to add all the units just yet. We've got the Hampton Legion here. So, again, look at this. Infantry Battalion. That's something that you couldn't have in the other game. I don't think you can recruit them, but that's pretty cool. So the Hamptons Legion Infantry Battalion, first Battalion from 3rd Regiment or something, or 1st Regiment, 3rd Battalion. I'm not sure. 2nd Battalion, 3rd Regiment. I have no idea. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying it. It's the Hampton Legion Infantry Battalions. So these are small units, 527 men under the command of a major, and again Major Martin Gary here, commanding this battalion. So you can see there's other ones on the way, 30 days away, 15 days away, 30 days, 40 days. So again, we've got Wade Hampton here with that Hampton Legion, which is set up like a division. But really, it's a brigade because it's got battalions and regiments and stuff. Then we've got the Demi Brigade here under Evans. That's Shanks Evans. The 1st LA Special Battalion, Louisiana, of course. I think Louisiana. Is that how we do Louisiana? L.A. They're actually called LA Tigers on here. The 4th South Carolina Infantry Regiment, 8th Virginia Infantry Regiment, with some batteries as well. So this is a bit different, and then we've got the usual brigades here on the right. So we've got Bonham's Brigade, Wickham's Cavalry Regiment, Ewell's Brigade, Jones Brigade, so on, Longstreet, Cork, or Cork, whatever you call them, Early. Just the usual guys, really. Army of the Shenandoah, we've got a whole bunch of artillery here. Lots and lots of artillery. And then we've got the infantry brigades here. Stonewall Brigade under Jackson, of course. Bartow, B, Elsie, Kirby Smith. Now, let's have a look. 1 day his boys will be there. 95 days. 30 days. So, like, recruits are already stacked up. And as we can see, we'll have a quick look here. There's actually no recruits available just now. But we've got 170,000 fielded, according to this. Which I guess means that it's 170,000 on the way in. If you remember at the setup, there were, I think it said 110,000. But we've got 446 recruits available, so that's not a lot. But let's have a look at weapons. So weapons are different. Sharps rifles, we've got like 750 of them. Sharps carbines, 900. The weapons have got slightly different names here. So the M1841 12-pound howitzer, 1861 10-pound Parrots, things like that. So there's slight little differences that, which is it's pretty cool actually. I like that. We've got a few Richmond rifles available, a few Mississippi rifles, a handful of Lawrence rifles, about 3,000. Some Enfields, Reborn muskets, Hawken-type Plains rifle, the Derringer 1817. There's all sorts of different weapons here, or at least renamed weapons to make them more realistic. The ranges have been adjusted as well, so we've got Springfield muskets here, Augustine reboards. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Overall, I'm really quite impressed with how this game looks so far. The mod looks. So we've got armies spread all over the place, but some of them we aren't going to move. Some of them we aren't going to rename. We've got like the Indian Army over here with Pike, and I think Stan Waitie's in there. The second Cherokee mounted rifles. So there's a whole lot to be done, a whole lot to be organised, a whole lot to be changed, units to add in, etc. And I'll get on with that off screen. We can see we can already fund the British rifles, which is great because, I mean, historically they did start importing Enfield rifles really, really early in the war. So we'll be getting on with that straight away and bringing in some Enfields. Next we'll be working towards getting Austrian rifles as well, because I think it's going to be important to bring those in, because the Confederacy just hasn't got the industrial capacity to meet our demand for rifles and artillery. But yeah, so we've got armies all over the place. Army of Texas here. Again, it's going to be a while till these guys are ready because all the dudes are recruiting in 50 days, 80 days. So it's going to be a lot of waiting to be done. We'll be fighting in the east a lot, I would think, earlier on. The Missouri State Guard, they're going to be pushing up into Missouri. Possibly, we'll see what we want to do here. But yeah, so I've got units to add in, and I'll do that now, and I'll cut back in when that's done. Alright, so I'm back here. I've put most of the units in, but not all of them. It was simply just not logistically possible because of the way the setup is with the AOM mod. It's not something I had anticipated. Quite a lot of the units are regiment size, so I haven't been able to put everybody in that I wanted. And there'll be more recruiting coming soon, so look out for your units over the next few episodes. But I'm going to go through first the units I have put in so you know where your guys are, and I'll mention the ones that'll go in later. So if you do want a unit added, then add it to the post in the community section of this channel. So if you do want your own unit in game, just go to the community tab on my channel and find the post for unit requests for the series and add yours, and I'll stick it in. Alright, so what do we got here? So, and remember, the video's chaptered, so if you're not bothered about viewer units or where they are, then just skip past to the next bit. But do remember to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, okay, let's go through. I'm going to start at the top of the list here. So my very first one was from Natural Born Patriot, and he wanted Oliphant's Regulators. But he said to do it when we have bigger cavalry units unlocked. So I'm going to hang fire on that for now, and we'll put them in as soon as possible. Next one is a regular viewer, Project Lest We Forget, the Georgia Regulars. Oh, the first Georgia Regulars he wants. Okay, so Department of Norfolk, that's where I've put them for now. They're not going to stay there. It's just convenient for them to go there for now, and they'll obviously move out of there. The Department of Norfolk will probably become one of the cores of the Army of Northern Virginia once I form that. So Department of Norfolk. Let's go and find these guys. Gordon. I have actually called him the first Georgia Regulars under John B. Gordon. It's a unit he usually has. Olive green coats, light blue pants, and that's what you've got there, mate. He wants to see heavy combat. Yeah, well, I'm sure they will. They're armed with old smoothbore muskets at the moment, obviously, which obviously we don't want. This is one of the newer weapons. It takes the place of the mixed muskets from the vanilla game. Okay, you can go. I'll give you these Springfield rifle muskets. We've got 2,600 of those. So it's still a small brigade, but I mean, they should pick up more troops. Lots of the brigades are a bit smaller in the AOM mod, so just bear with that. In the Department of Norfolk, we've also got Grumpy Grumpa's troops. Let's have a look at these guys. Grumpa's Grunts. He wanted a Union colour scheme for his uniforms, so we've got ahead with that. They have got old smoothbore muskets as well, and they will actually keep those for now, because I can't give away too many weapons to the guys coming in, but don't worry, Grumpy, they'll get some better weapons soon enough. Also, who else have we got here? We've got somebody else in this. Yes, the Stump Tube, Reckington Rangers. There they are. I've given them these bitch and pyjama looking uniform, also with old smoothbore muskets. We'll upgrade them as we get in. They are commanded by Colonel Fatman Arkle, a guy from our history who we know well. Grumpy also had his own commander in. Project Lest We Forget wanted John B. Gordon, who's been the commander of this brigade for the last, I think, maybe 3 or 4 playthroughs. Okay, so that's those guys. Let's now go ahead and find who's next. I've got all these written down on a bit of paper. Well, I printed them all out because there's quite a lot. Okay, so Guardians of the Cumberland Gap. I don't know if you've got some sort of block on your username or something, but you just come through as user GG3EH2EU1P. I'm sure that's not really a username on there, but that's what it says. So Guardians of the Cumberland Gap. You wanted them from Virginia or Tennessee. I just haven't got no one to put them in, and you wanted John Singleton Mosby as the commander, which is fine, but that means they have to be from Virginia because he's a Virginia volunteer. But I'll put them in soon. There'll be I'll be making new recruits soon. Catty C YouTube. You wanted McLennan County Artillery from Texas with a Texas commander with the rank of captain. Weapons, 3-inch ordnance or 10-pound parrots when we capture them. Yeah, we'll have to capture them. With the uniform, light tan shell, blah, blah, blah. And you want them in the Eastern Theater. There is no Texas artillery in the Eastern Theater at the moment. At least none that I can see. So I'm going to have to recruit those guys in once we get dudes available, okay? Sunflex Raven 9464 Ruhr Valley Battery from North Carolina. Again, I've not really got anybody to put in there. I've got no North Carolina artillery available anywhere that's going to see any fighting. There's only some down south in North Carolina, and I kind of don't want to put them there because I don't want viewer units just sitting around doing nothing. So I'll put them in again once we get some dudes in there. Next up, Mr. Mister, again a long-time viewer of the channel. He wanted the Baton Rouge boys again. It's his usual unit, and we've put them into the Army of Central Kentucky. Again, they may not stay there, but that's where they are for now. Army of Central Kentucky. Let's just check them out. It still says 12th Louisiana Regiment, but it is the Baton Rouge boys. Richard Taylor as requested. Springfield muskets for now. I'll give them some better weapons as we go on. So that's your guys there, Mr. Mister. Sasha 642, 1st Virginia Military Academy, VMI Cavalry Hussars. Green jackets, white trousers. Jeb Stewart in charge. You won't get Jeb Stewart. Jeb Stewart's going to command a larger force than that, I'm afraid. So it'll be someone else. I can't remember if we've discussed this in the comments or not. I'll have a look. But again, I'll put these in soon. Next up, we've got the Sioux Mounted contingent, who he wanted to be from Texas rather than from the Indian Territory. So I've made them from Texas. And they are actually in the Army of Texas. Let's have a look. Where are they? Over here. They're going to be stuck here for a little while because Sibley's guys aren't quite ready for moving out. But they are around here somewhere. Let's just find them. The Sioux Mounted Contingent. You wanted a low-ranking officer. It promoted him to Lieutenant Colonel. He was a lieutenant, but there he is. He's got some decent stats. And that's the Cavalry Regiment. You asked for them to have the crappiest weapons, but, I mean, really, they're armed with Lawrence rifle muskets at the moment, which I'm tempted to keep with them because the other options are Sharps carbines, Maynard carbines, Smith carbine, Burnside, or the Springfield musketoons, which I wanted to save for new troops, really. So I think maybe they'll just stay with the rifle muskets for now. Anyway, that's those guys. So you wanted them to look shabby, and I think these guys look pretty shabby. Okay, so next viewer requested unit. We've got, again, I think it's a new privacy setting on YouTube. So user YM2VD9RO40. You wanted the Czech volunteer, the Czech Texas volunteers, sorry. And they are in the Army of Tennessee. Let's just go and find those boys. That's actually under Hardy, which I don't know, I'm surprised to see that a little anyway. Okay, so let's find these guys. The Czech Texas Volunteers. Where did I put them? There they are, the Czech Texas Volunteers. Again, you had asked for John Bell Hood, but John Bell Hood is actually in charge of another brigade already, which I'll come to in a moment. So I've given you Stephen D. Lee, as we discussed in the comments. Stephen D. Lee is a good commander. Your uniforms, you wanted red and white top, and got a red and white top there, as close as I could get it anyway. Blue pants, so there you are. They're armed with the Lawrence rifle musket as requested. It still says 7th Texas down here, but you know, I'm sure that'll change eventually. And this is an infantry regiment, so there's lots of regiments in this. Some brigades, but lots and lots of regiments, which makes life a little more difficult. But there you are. So next up, Hood's Texas Brigade. Now, I had mentioned that Hood probably have a higher command, but Hood's Texas Brigade was actually already in-game. And they were actually dressed the same way as you requested. So that was pretty cool. And I've just left them there. And you've got Hood in charge for now. But Hood will be moving on to bigger and better things eventually, unless he dies, of course. So they're Texas Brigade, already in here. But they're on the way in, 40 days away. John Bell Hood, Colonel John Bell Hood. All right. I don't know why he's got leadership 1 star. It seems a bit... Well, I'm sure he'll get better. But anyway, so John Bell Hood, Army of the Potomac. There you are. He's on his way there. Mr. Beast Tigers, again, North Carolina. I've got no real troops. Well, I'm saying no real troops. No troops up here in any of the fighting units. So I'm going to recruit those in later. So they'll be coming in soon, Mr. Beast Tigers. 3rd Tennessee Infantry. Again, I have not really got anywhere to put these boys or any real regiment to put them in, or brigade or anything. So, I mean, they'll be coming soon. Don't worry about that. They'll be coming when I get new recruits. Strange Man 6737. You requested your boys to be in the Western Theater from Louisiana. The only place I had available was in the Army of New Orleans. Now, of course, they won't stay in New Orleans. Let's just find these guys. Yeah, so they're down in New Orleans, of course. But like I say, they won't be staying there. I'll move them out. They are Strange Man. I've put you in. The Strange Man Brigade. Colours as requested. If you want any changes, let me know. Weapons. Did you request anything specific? Let me just double check. Hall rifles. Yeah, we've only got 900, so it's no good, I'm afraid. What will I give you for now? What about Lawrence rifles? I'll give them Lawrence for now. If you want something different, let me know. We'll move those boys out of there as soon as it's possible. And that's about it. So if you did request a unit and I haven't mentioned them, then just nudge me in the comments. But yeah, Dave Martin, your 3rd Tennessee Infantry. I've got nowhere to put them. I've got no Tennessee units available at the moment. If I come across one while I'm going through units as we're playing, I'll obviously put them in. But I haven't seen anyone that was suitable to have them. Right, so again, if I missed your unit, I don't think I missed anybody. But if I did, just let me know, and I'll be happy to go back to that and address that. If you want a unit added, then like I say, go and find it. Go and find the post, add your request, and I'll be happy to put that in. If you put it as a comment, I might not see it. Sometimes these videos get a lot of comments. I mean, sometimes they get none, but sometimes they get a lot, and it can be difficult to see. Okay, so that's the viewer units for now. Like I say, we'll be putting more in as that comes available, as troops become available. So let's have a look here. Policies. Well, I'm going to go for Militia Act 2 to start with. This is going to give us longer contracts, 2-year contracts, and it should give us more recruits, so we can then recruit. So they're going to be 29 days. That's the plan. We're going to work on that. Then Militia Act 3, and then we'll start working on finances, I think. Projects. Like I mentioned before, we'll be getting the British rifles. We're going to mostly rely on imported rifles, to be fair. I mean, I'm going to import probably somewhere around 20,000 rifles here, Enfield rifles, and then we'll see what's what. We'll try and capture most of our stuff on the battlefield if possible. That's the best way to do it, I think, to try and keep our finances in order. So that's part of the strategy. We're going to try not to spend too much money. Let's have a look what else we've got here. I'll just put the front lines on. I mean, obviously, it's the beginning of the war. It's where you think it is. I want to fight for Kentucky. We want to try and take Kentucky. So my usual strategy in the vanilla game is that we hold defensive lines in Virginia and kind of on the Arkansas-Missouri border, and then we go quite aggressive in the center. And I want to do that again. I want to see if this serves us well in the AOM mod, see how it works out. I don't know what the AI is like here. I really don't know what to expect. I'm expecting big things, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the game. We do have troops scattered around the place, though, which is a bit of a problem. But yeah, so that's the overall strategy. Defend and push in the center. That's usually how I like to work these things. And with that said, I think we can probably get started with the game here. I mean, I suspect we're going to see a fight. Surely these guys are coming down with 40,000. What have we got to defend with here? 22,800 and 10,700. I don't want to mess too much with the organization. I kind of want to leave it like this, even though usually I would make these into divisions. Maybe I will. This looks like it's going to be a real shambles to fight with all these separate gun batteries and things like that. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it as it is, and I'll see how this works out. If it's a total disaster, then, you know, that's just the way it is. All right. So, projects. We're going to work on the British rifles. Is anything assignable at the moment? Only these things. We're going to leave them for now. Policies, like I say, yeah, we're going to work on Militia Act 2, and then 3, and then probably on the finances, I would think. In terms of units that are ready to start moving, we've got the Western Army, the Missouri State Guard, really. But do we want to push into Missouri? I kind of don't know. I don't usually. I usually stay on the border here, and I let the AI or the Union have the initiative in that sense in Missouri if they want it. Let's take a quick look at the fleets, what we've got in harbour. Not a lot. Not really much at all, actually. Okay, so it is the 19th of July. It is the AOM mod. It's episode 1, and we're going to get started. Just worth pointing out that we do have a Gulf raiding squadron down here, which is a couple of brigs, I think they are. Yeah, they are brigs. So they start off with blockade busters and ocean blockading squadron. Right? So, I don't know. I guess I'll blockade with them. We'll see what that happens. Quite a lot of these boys are commanding units that are too big for them, so he can command a maximum of 6 ships. We've got 7, so let's replace him. We'll put a flag officer in there. Isaac Brown is fine. Hollins is fine as well. Okay, that's good. Moved on a couple of days, but they haven't moved down. I thought we would see action here with the Army of Northeastern Virginia. Not sure why we can't select the British rifles. Am I missing something here? Or can we already order them? No. Unless we need to unlock the diplomacy. Not sure. We'll let a couple of days go by. So over here we've got the Army of Eastern Tennessee under Crittenden, who was a buffoon in real life. And doesn't look too great in this with Zollicoffer under him. Zollicoffer is one of those guys who might have done okay if he lived this. a bit longer. So they're waiting on a few more troops to arrive as well. It's pretty small forces everywhere. Yeah, we've got nobody available really. We've got 494 men. Department of Southwest Missouri, sorry, is on the march as well. The Army of the West is pulling up towards the north. Maybe we will push up into Missouri a little. If we can capture Rolla, that would be awesome, actually. Oh, you know what? I think I might have missed... Yeah, there they are. Yell County Rifles. Richard T. Whitewood. Dick White. There you are. That's your guy. They are in the Western Army. I'm going to give your boys 1817 rifle muskets. They're outdated, but I think they'll be quite useful over here in the Far West. Our rating's already slipped down to BBB+. Ooh. And we've got a small engagement going on here. The Army of Kentucky is in contact with the Army of Eastern Tennessee, so that's the Union Army of Kentucky. Quite a lot more troops than we've got all together. Well, not too many, but quite a lot more guns. All right, let's have a go at this. Let's see the battle. It's a nice small one. Give our first little taste of combat in the AOM mod. Alrighty then, let's have a look what we're facing here. The Army of Kentucky under William Bull Nelson with a strength of 4,000 men and 25 guns. The Army of Green and morale is reportedly confident. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding. The supply situation of our army is also outstanding. General George B. Crittenden. And it is a defensive fight for us. Where are we fighting here? Poor Valley Ridge. Alright, cool. Battle of the Cumberland Gap. We're starting up on a minor defeat here. Outnumbered by about 1,000 men and they have about twice as many guns as us. This is a very small fight. I quite like that. I like that that's what we're getting started with. Weapons, probably our weapons will be questionable. Alright, so we can see the outlines for the Rangers are much better than they were. Old smoothbore muskets, yeah. Old smoothbore muskets all around, really. We've got 12-pound Napoleons. 2 lots of 12-pound Napoleons. Nice. And we've got some cavalry as well with mixed cavalry weapons. Okay. Who are the troops? Walthall? I don't know. Walthall's brigade. Carroll's brigade. And the Knoxville brigade. Okay, cool. Backed up with the Caswell artillery and Rutledge's battery. And then we've got 2 units of Cav, the 4th Tennessee and the 1st CS Cavalry. Where's the Union coming in from? Up here. So this is the Knoxville Division under Zollicoffer. Pretty cool. I think they'll probably come through this bit here. Is this the actual Cumberland Gap? I don't even know. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, of course. So just got to position our guys. We'll spread them out a little. It's the first combat for these dudes. All of them, I think. Yes, all of them. I like the look of the Rangers a lot more with the AOM mod. It looks much better. But we still have the same issue with artillery fire. We can't really get much of that going. But, I mean, they are in the woods, I suppose. Yeah, it's not good. All right, let's get started here. I've just got a little basic deployment on the go. Let's see if we can dig some little breastworks. Give our boys something to do. We can't put scouts out, but we can move forward a little. Just going to bring our cavalry forward to see if we can see anything. And yes, we can. There they come. Looks like they're going to come straight through the Cumberland Gap. The 4th Tennessee is going to move down the mountain into the 1st Kentucky Regiment. And the 1st CS Cavalry is taking up position here in the left flank in the woods. We'll see if we can hit these boys on 2 sides. An ambush in the Cumberland Gap. So we've got the 1st CS Regiment on the left flank and the 4th Tennessee is moving in on the right. And there comes the infantry. We're not going to make it. Too slow. And the order has... It's even disappeared, the order. That is annoying. The flags look cool. Don't know if is that something new with this mod, but it looks awesome. Here they come. Yeah, these boys are not really doing very much up here. I had one to fall on these guns, but no. Let's pull them back. It's just not happening. Oh, now they move. Now you're going to move. Okay. Where are these guys gone? Not sure. The East Tennessee Brigade and the Kentucky Brigade here. So a whole heap of Kentucky troops are going to fight each other. Oh, and this hasn't quite gone to plan. It definitely hasn't gone to plan at all. Yeah, they are fleeing. They were a little bit more ready than I had expected them to be, but you know, that's life. Flee. So there's 19 men there running. I mean, they were fired on point blank with artillery. It was a stupid move. Hopefully they'll rally. Oh, we did actually break their guns. That's at least one of their batteries. That's nice. The 4th Tennessee has reformed, so we're going to move them over here to support these guns, which hopefully are going to be able to get a shot off here. Very open. Yeah, so John Murray's boys here, they are stable again. That's nice. Good to see that they reformed. We're giving them a bit of a pound in. Their guns haven't come up. They have reformed now. I'm quite happy to let our artillery do the talking for now. Since we are outnumbered, we've moved us a minor victory. We've lost 65 men, we've lost 19. The day is ticking on here. It's lunchtime, 12:30. Just moving the skirmishers just to the edge of bugle range. I was hoping we'd get more of an eye on them, but it hasn't quite worked that way. Okay, so 150 casualties for the Union now. They're just standing here taking it. Really very effective. These guys stopped before they were in range. Well, one of these standoffs here, it's a proper stalemate. They aren't coming for us. We aren't going for them, but we are on a minor victory. It's up to them to come and attack us. We're defending our position. If we had some slightly better weapons, I'd try to bring the cavalry round and hit them, but I think we'll just end up routing the cavalry again. Yeah, so a bit of a frustrating first day, but, you know, neither side really wants to commit here. I don't want to commit into an attack, and they don't want to commit into an attack. So we've just bombarded them from range, and it's now 1830. 200 casualties for them, 39 for us. Let's see what the next day brings. I'm just going to let it run out to the end of the day. Alright then, so there we are. The next day is ready to start. We've been resupplied. Infantry ammunition sufficient. Artillery ammunition for 3 days. Provisions sufficient. Forage sufficient. Okay, cool. Let's see what they do. If they go anywhere else. If they reposition. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably end up on our flank or something like that. Let's see. What's going on? Oh, they've brought their guns up. Okay. So we're going to start taking hits with the artillery. See if we can clear their guns away with some skirmishers. And give these guns counter battery orders. Quite happy for the skirmisher company to take the fire, actually. Whoa. Not from whole brigade, though. Their batteries are taking quite a bit of punishment here. Yeah, those skirmishers are routed. Oh, nice. They've done a pretty good job, though. Problem is that the infantry's got better weapons than ours, much longer range. So they're retreating. It was a funny old battle. This, we'll let them go. I think I don't really want to pursue it. We'll give their artillery a bit more fire because we're already engaged. But that's it. Not sure why these boys won't fire at those guns, but they just won't have it. Okay, so a minor victory at the Cumberland Gap. I mean, it was okay. We lost 400 men, we lost 132. It was just a little skirmish, really. A nice one to kick the war off, I think. I quite enjoyed that. Okay. Not sure what's going on here. I can't see anything on the campaign map. So this is not a good start. Let's just press play and see what happens. Nothing. Everything's jittery. Nothing's working properly. That is not a good start of the campaign. Also, I've got field army selected, but it's got everything on here. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can save, and I'll reload and see what happens. Right, it's I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working very well, so I'm gonna try and reload this. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's not working at all, so that's not a good start. I'll see if I can get this fixed. If you are new here, then this is not the usual state of play, but I'm not sure what else I can do here. I'm going to have to cut the episode short. This is the end of episode 1. Disappointing. Very disappointing. I'll be back. Okay then, so I've tried reloading the game. It's not having it. It's just coming up with this. If anybody from the AOM mod is watching this, it's very jittery. I'm not running anything else in the background. I'm not running any mods, nothing like that. Nothing is working here. Armies aren't showing up. Federal major advantage. I don't really know what's going on. Obviously, there's some problem with it. If somebody from the AOM mod is watching this, or Grumpy, if you're watching this, if you've encountered this kind of thing, let me know. This is really disappointing. If this carries on, I'll start the campaign again in vanilla, and I'll put all these units in as requested, and we'll just crack on with a vanilla campaign if I need to, because this is no good. I'll let time run a little here just to see if anything happens, anything changes, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. Nothing's displaying. No armies are on. For Pulaski Garrison. Well, it just takes me to the edge of the screen here if I'm clicking it. Is this all the armies off map? I don't know. There's little things down here, but yeah. It's not doing anything. It's broken. This is really disappointing. Anyway, so I think I'll be back with another episode 1 after this one. Apologies about this. But at least you got to look at the AOM mod, I guess. We'll be back with episode 1 probably tomorrow or maybe the next day, depending on how long it takes me to set it up. But apologies for that. We've had a major malfunction here. Ta-ra for now. So I'm just back again here with a quick update. So the game won't even let me exit. So I think I can't really. I don't know. I don't know if this is just a problem specific to me, or a problem with the mod, or a problem of some other kind. But whatever it is, it's a problem. So I will be back with a new series starting this week, and we'll go with the vanilla campaign. It's fun anyway. We'll start the 1861. If you've requested units for this one, I'll put them back into the vanilla campaign, of course, and we'll just go from there. It's a real shame. I was looking forward to playing the AOM mod, but I can't really be having with this if this is how it runs. I mean, if this is how it runs for me, I don't know. There's nothing conflicting here. I've got nothing else installed. It's vanilla game with the AOM mod on, which is installed correctly. Anyway. I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you did kind of enjoy this one anyway, but, if not, then sorry about that. We'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra for now.